Yo, what it do, YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy Chris from BWC, and you're now boxing with Chris. If it's your first time here, make sure you do the right thing, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn your bell notifications on, so when we drop it like it's hot, you're not lost in the spot. Anyways, man, I know you guys heard the breaking news of the highly anticipated welterweight undisputed showdown between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Man, oh man, Errol Spence, man, 28-0 with 22 knockouts. It's 32, 33 years old. Terence Crawford, 36 years old, 39-0. 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He stopped his last, maybe, I think, 9 or 10 opponents, if I'm not mistaken. And we all know, man, this has been a fight 5-6 years in the making. And hopefully it comes to fruition. Hopefully nothing happens, nothing gets in the way and disturbs this from the fan. 2023 has been off to a good year. We've had some controversy. We've had some bad decisions in the sport, but we're also getting the big fights within this first half of the year. So I'm happy about that. This fight pertains a 2-fight deal with the PBC for Terence Crawford. There is a rematch clause for both guys in this fight that must be activated within 30 days after the fight, which is July 29th. And what's good about this is if they can split the rematch, we're doing for a trilogy, which is something that I'm pretty sure all of us will want. It'll be good for the sport of boxing. It could generate a lot of money. It could attract a lot of casuals into the sport with a trilogy of this magnitude, if everything can come to fruition. And just a couple takes about this fight, man. We know Spence has been inactive, man. Spence is going on, if I'm not mistaken, about 15, 16 months of inactivity. He's fought April 16th last year in his hometown of Texas when he stopped your Dennis Ugas in, I think, the 10th round to capture the WBA welterweight championship of the world. And we know Terence Crawford, his last fight was December 10th against David Avanesian at home on the Black Prime Network. So just a couple takes from that. People have always thought that I pick on Errol Spence. Only problem I've always had with Errol Spence has been his inactivity. The dude's 33 years old, doesn't even have 35 fights under his belt. That's always been my problem with Spence. And then with Terence Crawford, what I nitpick with Terence Crawford is he's beating some of the same opponents that Errol Spence is beating, but he didn't beat them when Errol Spence beat them. For example, Terence Crawford just stopped Shawn Porter, who's never been stopped, but he didn't fight the Shawn Porter that Errol Spence fought in the unification bout in 2019 in LA. The Shawn Porter that Terence Crawford fought, that was the Porter-way Shawn Porter. He was retiring whether he won or lost that fight, which he made it very clear. And the one that Errol Spence fought was a unification bout. And Shawn Porter, was one of the best welterweights in the world at the time. As for Kell Brook, Errol Spence was his mandatory. He went to the UK and stopped him in the 11th round in his backyard. As for Crawford, by the time Crawford got a hang of him, Gennady had put hands on him. Errol Spence had put hands on him. So he was not the same fighter. And it's just very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Because this fight is 6 years in the making. It's a competitive dislike for each other. I don't think it's a personal dislike, but it's a competitive dislike to prove who is the best fighter in the welterweight division. This is our Pac-Man Floyd for this era. We know Pac-Man Floyd 2015, May 2nd, did the biggest gate of all time, biggest pay-per-view of all time. I don't think it does that, but I think in terms of action, it lives up to the hype. And if I was to give it a pay-per-view, I would say maybe it does want 1.4, 1.6, which should be good, but what people are not noticing is that, due to the streaming, it might be a little different. But also the pay-per-view most likely is going to be more than $100. And there's really nothing, man. All the marbles, undisputed. We know the last undisputed welterweight champion of the world was Zab Zuper Judah more than 15 years ago. We haven't had an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era when Zab was the undisputed champion. It was in the 3-belt era. So I can't wait for this showdown. We've waited long enough, and it's hopefully going to come to fruition July 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This is just a preview. You know we're going to be doing a tail of the tape, and we're going to be doing more breakdowns as the fight inches close to the fight day. Once again, thank you, YouTube. It's your boy Chris from BWC. You know what to do. Keep it A more than 92, and I'm going to be back at y'all soon. Peace.